14th of May, 1907. My dear Gordon, it is a beautiful, still evening at 7 o'clock, and I sit and look at the most luxuriant beech and hill and coombe in the world. I have no need to do any more work today, because I did 1,600 words of reviewing before 3:30, after which I wasted 2 hours trying to pay calls with Helen, but finding my victims out. Then I said, "Don't!" to the children many times, and finally to myself. Then suddenly seeing how beautiful it was, I thought I ought to enjoy it, and could not think how. I can't read for pleasure. I tried gardening, it annoyed me, and there was no end to it. It's no use walking, for I do nothing but feed my eyes when I walk, and it has at last occurred to me that it is not enough. A man in the country must be a naturalist, a historian, an agriculturalist, or a philosopher, and I am none of them. I have no interests at all, and I know that beauty can bore and even infuriate one who is seldom passionate. So I'm writing to you, which is obviously a poor thing to do, as it simply clarifies my introspection a little, but will not, I know will, lead it anywhere. Oh, for a little money to turn round for a year, to make sure whether there is anything I should want to do if I had not to do reviewing. I tried to get my agent to help me out of reviewing, but he could only suggest fiction, which I can't even begin to think of yet. 30th of March, 1908. My dear Gordon, I haven't forgotten the dear letter you sent me just as I reached home from Suffolk, but I have really been thinking that I should never write back again. An east wind or a wind from underground has swept over everything. Friends, nature, books are like London pavements when an east wind has made them dry and harsh and pitiless. There is no joy in them. They are more dead than if they were in a museum correctly labelled. And this is true not only this morning, but every morning, every afternoon, and every night. I am now uniformly low-spirited, listless, almost unable to work, physically incapable. I have no idea what it means, but I crawl along on the very edge of life, wondering why I don't get over the edge. 14th of April, 1911. My dear Gordon, thank you for your letter, and Emily for hers. I wasn't at all hurt by not getting a letter, but was silent only because for some time I've been in one of my worst moods, and in fact seem hardly likely to get out of it. By the way, don't put it down to vegetarianism, which I've complicated by much reducing the size and number of my meals. I don't think it would be as risky for you. Fruits, vegetables, steamed if possible, good bread and butter and nuts and cream seem sufficient whether in simple or elaborate dishes. In fact, I enjoy the taste of my food much more now than ever. But I can't advocate anything I practice just now. I'm in such a poor way. I only hope I'm still suffering from the transition out of youth, and that someday I shall laugh at having taken myself so tragically, as many people say they have laughed. I'm beginning to see myself a little clearly, and to see what things are probable and what improbable in my life. But I don't think I'd better go into this. Diary entry, 9th of October 1907. Disappointed, because Helen said she would return today, but now puts off till tomorrow, which throws me out and gives me no relief for my reading. Also, I may have smoked and taken too much tea. So I sat thinking about ways of killing myself. My revolver has only one bullet left. I couldn't hang myself, and though I imagined myself cutting my throat with a razor on Wheatham, I had not the energy to go. Then I went out and thought about what effects my suicide would have. I don't think I mind them. My acquaintances, I no longer have friends, would talk in a day or two when they met and try to explain and of course see suggestions in the past. W.H. Davies would suffer a little, Helen and the children, less in reality than they do now from my accursed tempers and moodiness. It is dislike of the effort to kill myself, and fear that I could not carry it through if I half did it, that keeps me alive. only that. For I hate my work, my reviewing. My best, I feel, is negligible. I have no vitality, no originality.